Welcome to another episode of Follow the Brand TV. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, a 5-star personal brand and business development company. I want to take you on a journey through another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand TV series, you will differentiate yourself from the competition and build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build confidence, and reflect who you are. Building your 5-star personal brand is a great way to improve your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or any of my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh@5starbdm.com. Now, let's begin with our next episode on the Follow the Brand TV.
Five-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
Imagine if Toyota built cars the way most companies build software. Would you trust that car on the road? Darius Radford doesn't think so. He's seen the logos: Fortify, Checkmarks, Snake, Whiz, each promising a solution, but all circling the same problem. It's not about the tools, it's about how we build. We don't have a tooling problem. We have a manufacturing problem. Software isn't written anymore. It's manufactured. Darius is a rare voice in cybersecurity. He's not in marketing. He's in the trenches, where it actually works. With over 20 years as a CISO, architect, and professor, he's assembled a career from the ground up. Raised by a police officer, incident response was a way of life. He even studied polygraph manuals as a kid, learning to spot the truth behind the noise. Some careers are chosen. His was assembled. Now, the AI era has changed the question. It's not just how do we use AI, but how do we secure it? Security shouldn't slow developers down. It should make them better. At Night's Watch Cyber, Darius and his team see themselves as protectors of the digital realm, modern guardians for a new frontier. Security isn't a cost center. It's what protects your profits and wins deals. Software isn't written anymore. It's manufactured. And in this new era, the way we build and protect matters more than ever.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Follow Brand Podcast. This is Grant McGaugh, and I'm going to take you back a little bit in my history and working in the technology field. I worked with a particular individual that I'm going to introduce you today, and we both work for a company out of the West Coast in the Seattle area, and in which I was doing a lot of technology solutions. And one of the things that I had to get really good at, and he helped me get good at, is understanding cybersecurity and cybersecurity opportunities and how to have cybersecurity conversations in a digital world and what that really looked like. Because there's a whole kinds of like, wow, that seems very intricate, and I had to get a better understanding of what that would look like. So my guest today, I say he's rare in cybersecurity. He's a leader whose resume was built in the trenches. Now, right, we're not in the marketing department, but where it actually works. His name is Darius Radford. He's the founder and CEO of Night's Watch Cyber, which is a boutique firm helping software-driven organizations build security into how they work, not bolted on after the fact. That's very important. So after 20 years or so as a CISO, security architect, professor, PCI assessor, his fingerprints are on security programs at a lot of different companies. So he's got the lived experience that we need, and he's built what he's called the secure software factory, which turns secure software development from a compliance checkbox into a competitive advantage. So I want to get you introduced to Darius Radford. I want to welcome him to the Follow Brand Podcast. How you doing out there, Darius?
I am great, Grant. Hey, thanks for having me on, guy.
Oh, man. First of all, it's my pleasure to be with you again in this particular venue, because I think you're one of the most impressive guys that I've met in what I call your domain authority, that you actually know and breathe this type of thing. So we got to first understand how you acquired your superpowers. Spider-Man acquired his
Right,
superpowers.
exactly.
We're born with
Exactly.
like Superman, but how did you acquire your superpowers, Darius?
Wow, that's an interesting question, Grant. And actually, it goes way back to childhood. Actually, both my parents went to Tuskegee University. Okay, so my
Yeah.
mom retired from the Atlanta Police Department, and my dad retired from the Pentagon. Okay, I mention that because I feel like my upbringing greatly impacted me becoming a security professional. First off, if you're raised by a police officer, your entire life, okay, is incident response. That's literally your entire life is incident response. Okay. My mom worked in larceny, she worked the streets, she worked in internal affairs, you know what I mean? So it was always incident response. And then she was a police officer during the Atlanta child murders. Okay.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
So her whole life was incident response. So I grew up with that. Then, about the fifth grade, my mom decides to become a licensed polygrapher.
Okay.
Yeah, not the best of things for a young Darius. Okay, so let's say sixth grade, I find her polygraph manual and decide to study it. Okay,
Okay.
that maybe went a little too well because by seventh grade, she felt it was probably a good idea if I go stay with my dad in Alabama. So I'm gonna let you guys fill in the blank there. But yeah, so my dad, as I mentioned, he was worked for the Pentagon, but prior to the Pentagon, he was a safety man at Republic Steel, which was, the steel plants before they all moved across seas.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
being a safety man, all I heard about was compliance, policy, and safety regulations. That was it. Compliance, policy, safety regulations. In
Uh-huh.
addition to that, as a teenager, my dad had a really tight curfew. Okay. And his curfew and my event times always conflicted.
Of course.
Always conflicted, right? So and then he would lock the door at curfew time. Locked. So very quickly, I had to figure out lock picking if I wanted to get in there and get to sleep or sleep in the backyard with the dogs, right? Then I went to Tuskegee.
Yeah.
Went
Okay.
to Tuskegee, went to college, followed in my parents' footsteps. My mom's a Delta, my dad's an Omega. So I decided to pledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? Of course, I'm legacy. So I'm pledging. And the day before we crossed, my money didn't show up to cross. So I panicked, got on some computers, and let's just say we found some credit card numbers.
Oh, okay.
The plan was take the credit card numbers, get some stuff, take stuff back, get cash, cross over. Okay. One of those transactions didn't quite work out right?
Uh,
So us in the entire line of Omega Psi ended up going to jail spring break of '94.
wow. Wow.
Not a good look, especially when you're at the school that you're a legacy at. So not a great time for me, right? So anyway, we get in front of the judge and we explain what happened. The judge asks whose idea was it to get into these computers. And of course, everybody looks at me. So I have to go up there and explain how I got into computers in 1994
Yeah,
and how I
yeah.
used a modem and did this and all this fun stuff. So then he calls recess and we're freaking out. I'm freaking out. We're all in the back freaking out and I'm thinking about all these possibilities. So he comes back out and he starts telling me about his old college roommate that now works at the Pentagon. And I'm like, well, this is not how I'm expecting this conversation to go. Then he starts saying, well, at the Pentagon, they need people that think a certain way.
Hmm.
And I'm like, And next thing I know, I got an internship making $9 an hour for the
Yeah.
Pentagon. I looked at God and said, look, I hear you. I got it. I will now use my evil superpower for good. And I'm not doing any more shady stuff no more. So that's kind of how I started, right? So at an early age, I learned social engineering from the polygraph stuff. I learned incident response from having a police mom. I learned policy and governance from my safety man dad, and penetration testing from lock picking and not having pledge money.
It was cybersecurity before they even called it cybersecurity.
Right. So go figure.
I love it, man. See, that's a true story. And that means you're a crime fighter. That's how a crime fighter is born. You have to understand both sides of the world. Sometimes in the cyber world, you have the black hats, you have the white hats, kind of how
Mhm.
they operate. But if you don't understand how the bad guys work, it's hard to then to defend against that, right? But you have to understand
Absolutely.
the holistic. Now you've done something that you confided to me what I thought was remarkable, that you yourself have has evaluated over 50 cybersecurity tools, applications, and platforms in which you are now, can speak to and to kind of become the precursor of what your own platform is all about. Talk to me about that.
Absolutely. Um, Over time, the evaluation of tools, that became one of my go-tos. Every organization, every consulting project, I was helping these organizations look at what was there, look at the current tool set, evaluate, take the requirements of what they needed, right? Understand those requirements, and then go out and look at tools that fit into that environment, and more importantly, integrate it with the pre-existing tools.
Mhm.
Okay. So that tool evaluation is kind of what led to each one of the tiers in the secure software factory, if you will.
Nice.
Absolutely.
So these things I think are important for our conversation and for our audience to understand how you would say your side work now becomes your real work and what you're able to offer as a service to other people. Can you walk us through like the day you decided that Night's Watch Cyber was going full time? What was your thinking around your risk and what did you know that made it worth taking?
Yep. I start seeing the same problem. Okay. I mean, literally, no matter what the environment was, right? Whether it was Floor & Decor, or Jack Henry, a Fifth Third Bank, a Wells Fargo Bank, or Fannie Mae, or AT&T, okay? I was seeing the same thing. And even if we kind of look at the how we got there, okay? I started my career, everything was about the firewall,
Mhm.
okay? Everything was about the firewall. Attack, protect the perimeter, protect the perimeter, protect the perimeter. That was the big thing, okay? But over time, I realized something changed, okay? Applications became the battlefield.
Mhm.
Um, no longer were they attacking through the firewall. They were attacking the applications, the APIs, the CI/CD pipeline, the cloud, open source, the identity. People's identity became the new thing.
Mm-hmm.
I then started to notice a pattern, okay? Every company had the same issues pretty much, okay? I go into a company, they have Fortify and check marks and Sneak and Imperva and Prisma Cloud or Threat Fix or Wiz, and it could be the latest AI security tool, no matter the cloud, whether it was Azure or AWS or GCP, all different logos, the same problem, okay? Same problem. Then it hit me one day, we don't have a tooling problem. We have a manufacturing problem,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And here's what I mean by that. Software isn't written anymore. It's manufactured. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit. Software isn't written anymore. It's manufactured. Let me draw this analogy for you, okay?
Yeah.
If Toyota built cars the way most companies built software, nobody would buy one, okay? They wouldn't. Okay. Every factory Toyota has, or you build cars in, what do they have? They got quality control. They got a supply chain. They got an assembly line. They got standards. They got automation. They got periodic inspections. They got governance, feedback loops, repeatability. They got metrics. Software development, most of them got either none of that or a small portion of that.
Mm.
So then I started asking myself, why don't we treat software development like manufacturing? Okay. It shouldn't be a developer writes the code, they deploy the code, and then they hope and pray. Okay. That should not be the approach, right? Instead, how about we create the requirements, look at how that impacts development, add security, do some testing, crazy concept. Okay. Supply chain. Where are you getting these updated libraries from? Artifact management. Okay. Then you apply policy. Then you look at risk. And then after all of that, you deploy. Once you deploy, you monitor and grab feedback. That is a factory. That's repeatable. Okay. So after
This
all these, yeah, I'm sorry, Grant.
Yeah.
What was
No,
that?
no, 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 no. I want you to continue because this is important to understand. You just nailed it. I call that the scroll stop sentence right there.
Mhm.
Is that the whole manufacturing world, how we assemble cars and a lot of other things, and in software engineering, we're not doing that type of quality control. And that when it hits the market, it's almost like that's why nobody likes to buy Rev 1 of a software because
Right,
they know it's full of bugs. And then
right.
like they test it and find out if it works or not in the market, not not
Exactly.
in your organization, right?
You just hit it right on the head. Nobody wants to test before service pack 1, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So yeah, so after years of seeing these same failures, right, over and over, I realized there were really 4 capabilities that every secure software factory needed.
Mhm.
Okay. Pillar 1 is what we call orchestrated delivery.
Uh-huh.
You can't consistently build, you can't build software consistently that you can't secure consistently. So here we at crazy questions like, is our security checks built into each phase? What is the developer velocity?
Mhm.
Okay. How does security impact that developer velocity? Different questions like that. And pillar 2, we call that developer-centric AppSec tooling. Okay. Security shouldn't slow developers down. It should make developers better. So as such, developers should not have to go to the security tool. The security tool should go into the developer's workflow.
Yeah. I like
Okay.
that. Yep.
That's the IDE. That's the repo. That's the pipeline. The tool should be where the developers live. Okay. They shouldn't have to learn anything new. Just fix your stuff as far up the life cycle as possible.
Mhm.
Okay. Pillar 3 It's called supply chain and artifact management governance. Okay. I don't know if you guys remember SolarWinds,
I
but
do.
that
Yeah.
attack changed everything. Before SolarWinds, nobody was talking about supply chain attacks or any of that. But that changed everything. Okay. After that, supply chains became the targets. And this is probably the most critical piece. Okay. If you guys remember the term patch management,
Yeah.
this is patch management on steroids.
Mhm.
And that was before AI.
Mhm.
Since AI, this has completely exploded. Okay. Completely exploded and become even more critical. And then the final pillar is unified risk correlation. Okay. Companies don't have too little security data. They got too much. They need context. Okay. How do we put all this data from all these different places in context? Stuff like cross-tool vulnerability aggregation. We got all these tools. What are they telling me holistically about my environment? Okay. Code the runtime risk mapping. Okay. How can I see throughout the entire life cycle, okay, the entire build cycle, and there's 9 stages, by the way, but
Yeah.
throughout that, how do I get to see the risk through all of that? And then continuous risk posture monitoring. And the key word is continuous. Risks just don't stop. So the assessment of those risks need to be continuous through the thing, through everything. And then after all that, AI happened.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
A lot of people were asking, how do we use AI? My team was asking, how do we secure AI? Okay.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of the work we done recently with AI security assessments and AI governance and AI platform evaluation and model context protocol security is a natural extension, not a pivot from the secure software factory. Okay. Last year, Black Hat announced that AI security is a subset of application security. So I'm like, wow, I'm already in it. So I'm already there, right? So it's a subset of it. So our big insight is that for 25 years, we weren't just building security programs. I was actually collecting evidence.
Mm.
Every customer taught me the same lesson. The tools change, the cloud change, AI change, but the underlying problem never changed.
Mhm.
Okay. So I stopped asking, how do we secure the application? And I started asking, how do we build software that is secure by design?
Yeah.
That is essentially where the secure software factory comes from.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that helps everything. You frame the whole technological discussion around this and understand when we know third party involvement in these breaches have doubled and the
Mhm.
vulnerability exploitation keeps climbing, especially during this AI era. And you've also coined this secure software factory. You've kind of you now I understand this. So if a CEO, let's say, is listening to this, who builds software, or their CTO is building software, whoever it may be, and especially if they don't think of themselves as a software company, this now becomes important because most, I think, mid-market leaders think security is a cost center. They'll invest in it after the next funding round or after they land what you call the big client. I remember we
Mhm.
talked about version one, like, oh, hell, now it's
Absolutely.
horrible. But man, now they know it costs a lot of money to go ahead and relaunch that new software, and you can get a lot of legalities depending on what it is. Help us make the business case on how does secure software development actually win deals if it's already embedded.
Absolutely, Grant. That's a great question. Looking at it from a lot of angles, right? It gives an organization a certain level of assurance that their software is built with security by design. Okay. It gives a certain level of assurance that down the road, I'm not going to have a privacy breach. Okay. That there's something out there called the OWASP Top 10, And they have the OWASP, the top 10 for API security, for AI, as well as AppSec, okay? That's one of the key things we check, okay, is to make sure your software, in addition to all the other stuff we check, right? We're looking to make sure that it's protected against those key vulnerabilities, all right? And being able to show that you have a repeatable, okay, consistent piece of software that is being manufactured in alliance with best practices, okay, in a factory type environment, that's huge. Being able to show those metrics, being able to show that value is just absolutely huge. The next generation of software won't necessarily be built by developers alone, okay? It'll be built by developers working alongside AI. So our challenge isn't simply building a secure software factory, it's building a secure software factory where humans and AI can collaborate safely.
This is important because AI is the new elephant in the room. And all of a sudden, I just had this discussion, like, had to be 2 weeks ago. I said, all of a sudden, now me and you, we're career IT people. We've been involved in information technology for decades. All of a sudden now you got AI that's in the last 2, 3 years, and now this AI agents, this AI automation. All of a sudden, the world is becoming digital IT experts, right? And it's like it's so easy to go to Claude, let's say Cloud Code, like, you know what, build me a software stack, and it'll model it, but you have no understanding what that's going to look like once it's released into the wild. You don't understand it's not just a matter of building some code and then having it perform some kind of digital application, and not understanding what the life cycle is like. That whole manufacturing that you just talked about, all that quality control and software engineering, once it becomes out, remember, there's legal, there are implications that are out there. There are all kinds of things that you're going to come across that you're probably not that aware of. So my question to you is now we've got this whole new world of digital amateurs, I would say, that are out there, building code and releasing it to the wild. And I'm sure the hackers that are out there are just like,
They love that.
Just up. Talk to us. If you were talking to that audience right now, what type of information or guidance would you give them right now?
Make sure all your code is being tested throughout that life cycle, okay? Do not just take AI's word for that code you're building, okay? Make sure things like input validation, session management, okay? Authentication, authorization, those key items are being checked once that code gets produced. Also, analyze how that code fits into your existing code base, okay? Understand the roles, the accounts, the permissions those roles and accounts have as it moves, as it integrates with your existing code base. There is so much to check. And then those LLMs, okay? Those LLMs that are producing this code, how are you governing that? Okay, that has to be governed. That's huge. A set of standards just got released in the last 2-3 months that internally produce or internally created LLMs. What they do outside your organization, you are completely responsible for. Okay, the onus is now on that organization. So if you create an insecure piece of software and it kind of and through AI it goes outside of the realms of what's considered your security policy and does something out in the wild, okay, that causes financial damage to another organization or individual, then you're now responsible for that. Mm-hmm. So governance of these AI tools we're creating is becoming huge.
100%. What you said there, you've got to know, You can't just say ignorance of the law is no excuse. And there are laws out there. And cybersecurity is one of those things that you've got to be aware of. Now, I'm going to tiptoe to another side because I know you've done this at very large institutions. You led an application security transformation at I'd say a major national retailer that I think vendors still showcase today. And then without giving away any trade secrets, let's say, what actually changed inside that organization? And what does that story teach a 200-person software company about this kind of security transformation?
Absolutely. The big thing we saw at this organization, right, or the big thing that really helped is throughout the way, well, the first thing we did is we assembled what I like to call an AppSec coaches team. Okay. And what is an AppSec coaches team? We initially evaluated all the different applications, the pipeline, everything, the developers and the different development groups. Through doing that initial evaluation, we were able to identify people who were in charge of some kind of security function. They were managing secrets, they were managing the encryption part, they were handling the login, which was the input validation and things of that nature. But I started noticing people who were doing key security tasks in development, okay? So the first thing I wanted to do was organize those guys, okay? And so I created something called an AppSec coaches group. We would meet periodically. They would talk to me about what they were working on, okay? Whether it was encryption, and I would be able to weigh in by them telling me what they were working on. I was able to weigh in with this encryption, make sure we're using these libraries, okay? Right. If you're doing secrets management, make sure we're using HashiCorp Vault, okay? If you're doing input validation or you're doing logins, let me show you how to properly do input validation so we can make sure we don't have cross-site scripting problems, buffer overflows, or SQL injections, okay? So, and then what started to happen is once these guys started trusting me, they started telling me stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what Petey's doing over here? Guess what these guys are doing over here?
Yeah.
So that was step one, okay? Just kind of mobilizing and kind of orchestrating the team and getting developers bought in to security. Because while they were telling me what they were doing, I'm telling them all of our security initiatives. If I wrote a Java security policy, first people I gave it to was the AppSec team. Tell me why this wouldn't work. And they would. They would tell me why this wouldn't work. Okay, oh, this is too restrictive. Oh, we're never going to do this. Oh, I know how to get around this. So having these guys help me craft these documents. When I would create some kind of AppSec or cloud security policy, I took it to them first. Is this going to work? Is this not going to work? If it is going to work, let's talk about it, So when we set up a DevSecOps team, because eventually what happened is that all my apps start moving to the cloud. So I didn't want to go to the cloud, but I had to follow my apps, okay? All my apps went from that traditional 3-tier web app server database architecture to everything was containerized in Kubernetes, okay? So I had to adjust. Well, first I had to learn what Kubernetes was, right? So then I had to adjust. And so that's what kind of took me to the cloud. And once we got there, we realized how you built it was key. And initially we used to just kind of scan when they told us to scan. And so when we start seeing CI/CD pipelines, okay, we're like, wait. We need to integrate in that CI/CD pipeline. So anytime anything's being built, let's scan it then, okay? Give it a pass or fail then. Because once it gets in production, it is so tough to fix that problem then.
Of course.
And it's more expensive. But it's kind of what gave birth to it. Okay.
I like that. I see, and so you're helping the audience, especially our software engineering vice presidents and people that own the architecture to understand this. Now, Night's Watch, you have assembled I call it senior heavy bench. You got people that understand OT or operational technology. You've got an offensive security team. You've got people who understand identity and access management, Microsoft security depth. What's your philosophy on building a team of operators versus building just a team of scale?
Absolutely. Well, first, let me take you back to what Nice Watch means, okay?
Okay.
And that ties dead into how I chose my people. I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, okay? I'm a ridiculous, stupidly blind Game of Thrones fan. Game of Thrones, House of Dragon, Knights of the Seven Kingdom, all of it. Love it, okay? So, like many Game of Thrones fans, I became immersed in the show. The drama, the pageantry, the fantasy aspects of it, even the historical implications. Love it, okay? And what's crazy is I can remember being in Hamburg, Germany, Nice, London, and I'd be on a bar somewhere, and I would get into these in-depth Game of Thrones discussions all over the world, okay? And I would be amazed at just the reach of the show. And so in the show, okay, there was this great wall, okay? And the great wall separated the north from the south, okay?
Mhm.
And the north represented this, oh my God, uncivilized, terrifying frozen wasteland,
Yeah.
okay? That was full of spirits and ghosts and goblins and unexplained stuff, okay? And so the people that manned this wall, that protected the kingdom, the realm, from all the dangers that lurk outside on the other side of the wall was called Nice Watch,
Uh-huh. Okay.
okay? They
Yeah.
were called Nice Watch. And they were known as the protectors of the realm. Okay. So at Nice Watch Cyber, we say we're the protectors of the digital realm.
Mhm.
Okay. So in the movie, in the show, Game of Thrones, Nice Watch is considered a sacred order.
Mhm.
Like these guys think it's it is like a life's mission to be a part and an honor to be a part of the Nice Watch, to be able to protect the digital realm. And they obviously they take that stuff serious. Like they take their job serious. So likewise, when I chose my leadership team, okay, I wanted people who didn't just do cybersecurity. I wanted people that live cybersecurity.
Mhm.
Okay. And so everybody on my leadership team is somebody that fits that description. Okay. They eat, breathe, and love cybersecurity. It's more than just their job. It's literally their part. It's who they are. It's their life. So that's my leadership team, a bunch of geeks that know nothing but cyber.
Good people, all of them, good people. I've talked to them. We've been, kind of closer the last 5, 6 weeks, just working with
Mhm.
Night's Watch, understanding your story. I like that you're standing guard on that wall. My last question I want to ask you, I want
Yep.
you to project a little bit
Yep.
into the future. 5 years from now, when a mid-market software company hears Night's Watch Cyber, what do you want them to think, feel, and do in your own words?
I want them to associate us with the secure software factory. I want them to think about Night's Watch and think about the conversion to how software was made to it being factory-like. Okay.
Mhm.
I want them to think about the manufacturing process itself and how security becomes repeatable, measurable, and scalable. That's the software factory. That's the secure software factory.
That is beautiful, man. I want to thank you again for being on this show. I want to thank you for working with me. I only have one last question because
Yep.
I'm like that. And that is, you work with me, you understand my process and how
Mhm.
I work through the Brave Blueprint strategy. How did you feel about that?
I feel it was great, man. Um, Let me tell you my Grant story when I knew I had to work with Grant. Okay. We were, of course, you mentioned that we worked at Zones together. And every year, you're one of the leading sales guys. Okay. Always happy, always smiling. Like, what's he so happy about? So, yeah, well, okay, well, he's winning all the time. Well, okay, maybe he's happy about that. So I decide, and me, I'm a talent evaluator. So I like to be around talent. So, and I was a solutions architect, which is a fancy word for pre-sales engineer. Okay.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to sell. So I targeted you as someone I wanted to learn from. So I went to Florida. I think you had some kind of healthcare executive showcase conference thing, right? I'm like, all right, let me see what this dude's doing. So I go there and I'm down there to learn how to sell. Okay. Down to learn how to sell. And I watch everybody in the room gravitate around you, want to work with you. Hey, Grant, what kind of stuff you do? And how can and just everybody just want to work with you. And you didn't say nothing. You didn't say anything. You position yourself a certain way. You connected with people. I think you interviewed a couple of executives and helped raise them up, if you will. But you didn't sell in the traditional sense. But you position yourself to where the sales came to you without you having to be that pushy sales guy. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? As a Star Wars fan, I learned that Jedi mind trick. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, here we are, right?
I love that. You do not want software engineering. Yes, you do want software engineering. Yeah, that's funny. First, man, I'm gonna tell you, I love your origin stories. Got me, man. And I tell you, work with you and understand what Night's Watch Cyber does. Love to position you in front of so many different companies that need your expertise. Because there's nothing worse than releasing a product that all of a sudden just gets hacked to pieces, or it affects their client base. All of a sudden, oh my God, you don't want to be that one. I remember, I think it was either Target or Sears that they targeted one of their software suppliers, got inside of it, shut Target down for, I don't know, a week, compromised all kinds of different credit card numbers. This is an important thing to understand. Why you need a professional like this. This is not a cost center. This is going to protect your profits. If you're looking to make money, you will make money by working with Night's Watch Cyber. So I want to thank you again for being on the show, and I can't wait to work with you some more, Darius. This has been
absolutely. Thanks a bunch, Grant. And,
you got to tell us how to get to your website.
Oh yes, definitely. kwcyber.net, guys. kwcyber.net. Come see us.
I love it. I love it. And you can visit, all your friends can come to 5-star BDM. That is the number 5. That is star, B for brand, D for development, and for masters.com. See all the episodes that I have. I got over 280 of them with people just like Darius who are telling their story for you to get better at what you do. So I want to thank you again for being with us today.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome.
All right.
Man, who's your favorite podcaster? Man, Grant, man. I love Grant's podcast. Well, who's Grant? I'm going to send you the link. I love Grant.
I love the interview. I've done a lot of these, and this is a great one. It's always great to talk to people who know what they're doing, and it's clear you're a great host, and you've done this many times before.
I feel great that we're having this conversation here. Met a new person in business who I previously didn't know.
It was an amazing podcast. Grant is an amazing interviewer. I learned a lot.
Really enjoyed this. Great questions, great talk track. Super appreciate you having me on. It's been a very fun episode to talk about a lot of things that I don't always get to dive into. So this has been a fantastic conversation.
I wouldn't be where I am here today, of course, not on this stage. However, not in my current business projection and my current business model without working with you.
The difference between influence and legacy, it's the platform that carries your voice. You're not visible because you lack talent. You're visible because your brand doesn't speak. I've built 5-star BD&M to change that. Most leaders have the expertise, but not the presence, the vision, but not the vehicle. Across 3 cities, one brand is helping leaders rise above the noise. Here in the heart of Omaha, strategy isn't left to chance. It's engineered with precision. In Omaha, we engineered your Zachner brand, AI-powered, data-driven, precise. TISA went from a local nonprofit to a national speaker in 90 days. We don't guess your brand strategy, we build it. On the shores of St. Croix, your brand takes on depth and meaning, shaped through curated retreats and legacy experiences. In St. Croix, strategy becomes soul. Our retreats don't just refine your message, they rediscover your mission. One founder rewrote his entire company story here. Funding followed 30 days later. This is where leaders remember who they were meant to be. In vibrant Miami, momentum meets amplification, transforming your voice into a movement. In Miami, your brand becomes a movement. Business development accelerators, audience building. Joy came with an old website and an outdated company name, but she left with 5,000 followers and a waiting list. This is where you scale with soul. 3 cities, 1 mission, your legacy ignited. It started with a thread. Let's pull it together. Stop blending and start leading. 5-star BDM, where legacy is engineered, embodied, and ignited. Visit 5starbdm.com and book your brand audit today.
Grant McGaw did not begin his journey in branding. His roots are in healthcare information technology, where he spent over 30 years witnessing the consequences of broken systems. The loss of his father, due to systemic bureaucratic failures, transformed his career into a mission. That loss gave me a mission to ensure that the leaders who have the power to fix these systems are actually seen and heard. This personal experience drives the vision behind building a 5-star enterprise. Today's enterprise leaders, especially in healthcare, technology, and finance, face a unique set of challenges. They must scale their thought leadership to attract both capital and talent, but traditional branding agencies cannot keep pace. Public artificial intelligence tools pose compliance risks, potentially exposing proprietary data or violating regulations like HIPAA and SEC. Unquantified reputation also means missed opportunities during mergers, acquisitions, or funding rounds. 5-star BDM specializes in building the digital authority of healthcare administrators, tech founders, and financial executives. The approach is rooted in the intersection of human-to-human authority and advanced technology. Through world-class personal branding, compliant artificial intelligence ecosystems, and direct pipelines to middle-market capital, 5-star BDM transforms digital authority into measurable enterprise value. Their proprietary Brave Blueprint strategy and private cloud artificial intelligence integrations ensure both visibility and security, while capital readiness converts reputation into tangible business outcomes. Framework. Authentic leadership is at the core of the 5-star approach. The BRAVE framework, detailed in Grant McGaw's book, stands for beliefs, resilience, authenticity, vision, and execution. These pillars guide leaders to define their convictions, navigate adversity, lead from their true selves, envision the future, and turn strategy into measurable action. This framework is not about creating personas, but about amplifying genuine purpose. To protect clients, 5-star BDM draws a clear line between proprietary intellectual property and vetted infrastructure partners. Their Sentinel brand assistant automates brand maturity assessments, while Voices of the Diaspora brings cultural intelligence to environmental, social, and governance messaging. Partnerships with leaders like CloudSource ensure that artificial intelligence environments meet strict enterprise governance standards. Delivery is tailored to client needs, From the 8-week AI Business Accelerator for mid-size businesses to white glove enterprise implementation for C-suite executives. The result is amplified digital authority, quantified audience assets, and investor-ready brand narratives, all contributing to measurable enterprise value. Grant McGaw's return to Omaha, Nebraska, brought AI literacy and business development resources to underserved entrepreneurs. The 5-star BDM team combines proprietary technology with human oversight, ensuring every client's journey is both innovative and authentic.
I want to thank everybody for coming out here and join our center here at the Enterprise on 96 and L. This is the grand opening of 5-star BDM in Omaha, Nebraska, my hometown, and I can't wait to bring these services in healthcare, technology, and finance to all of you. Welcome to 5-Star BDM Studio. This is where we are making the Follow Brand Podcast TV series and the Follow Brand Podcast itself. This is where the magic happens. Thank you again for tuning into the Follow Brand Podcast. I am your host, Grant McGaw. We are going to feature those who are looking to scale and grow their business to the next level in the world of healthcare, the world of technology, and finance. I want to thank you all for tuning in week by week, because this is how we grow our brand to the highest level. I want to thank each and every one of you, first of all, for taking the time to share your vision, your ideas with us at 5-Star BDM, so we can take what you have and bring it to an ideal state. We want to focus on you. Welcome to the Follow Brand Podcast. Today we're going to talk about unleashing your visibility of value. One of the biggest problems that small business owners have is that their value is not visible. We change that for everyone. Now, for 5-Star BDM, and you're looking to be a client, you're looking to scale, you're looking to move yourself to a whole nother level. This is the way you do it. First, you book an appointment with me. You get a free consultation. We're going to talk about where you're currently at in your journey. We want to understand your brand assessment. From there, we start with the BRAVE framework. And the BRAVE framework that I have patented, I have a copyright and a trademark on. We're talking about brand identity. We're talking about resilience. We're talking about authenticity. And we are talking about visibility and execution. If this rings true for you, it'll ring true for your business.
Most people are not behind on artificial intelligence because they lack access. They are behind because they do not have a system. You might think it is about the latest tool or the newest app, but the real gap is in how you work. You have tried ChatGPT. Maybe you got something impressive, or maybe it was a little off. Either way, you probably went right back to doing things the old way. That is not a tool problem. That is a workflow problem. The challenge is not about having artificial intelligence at your fingertips. It is about making it part of your daily operations. That is why ICABA created the AI Accelerator Group series. These are structured sessions, hands-on labs, and real work on the table. The goal is simple. Artificial intelligence should become part of how you operate, not just something you experiment with on the side. My segment is called Your Brand, Your Voice, Your GPT. We build a brand GPT trained on your voice, your standards, and your real-world use cases. This means your content, your client messages, and your strategy outputs stop sounding generic and start sounding like you consistently. In the lab, we build it with you, step by step, so you leave with a system that works for your business, not just another tool. If you are ready to stop stacking tools and start building real systems, join the next cohort. Want to see what this looks like before you commit? Come to the free Bring Your Work preview. Bring one real deliverable and we will work it live. Comment preview and I will send you the registration link. I get pitched all the time. Investment banking firms, software as a service companies, consultants, they're always polished, professional, and prepared. They walk me through their pitch. I nod. I understand the offer. But then, I forget them. Why? Because there's no emotional connection, no story, just information, dressed up in better formatting. But then, someone walks in and tells me a story. Maybe it's about a problem they solved, a customer who transformed, or the moment everything changed. That story sticks with me. It's not just about what they offer, but how they make me feel. That's the difference. This week on Follow the Brand, I'm sitting down with David J. Ebner, founder of Content Workshop. Together, we're unpacking the difference between story-first and content-first leadership. We dive into emotional connection, why asking who does this help changes everything, and how to build real authority in a crowded marketplace. If you're building a brand, scaling a business, or trying to stand out in a commoditized market, this conversation is for you. Storytelling isn't just a tool, it's your edge. New episodes every week on Follow the Brand. Join us, and let's build something unforgettable together. What if you could unlock the power of your personal brand, no matter where you are in your journey? That's the heart of Follow the Brand, a podcast where host Grant McGaw reveals that everyone, yes, everyone, has a brand worth sharing. Whether you're a Fortune 500 CEO, an entrepreneur in transition, or just starting to explore your purpose, this show is your invitation to discover what makes you unique. Each episode features intimate conversations with remarkable guests. You'll hear from branding legends like David Auker, Fortune 100 executives, quantum physicists, space mission launchers, and AI innovators. Grant dives deep into their stories, uncovering the purpose and authenticity that drive them forward. But this isn't just about learning from the best. It's about finding the universal patterns that connect us all. Through the BRAVE framework, brand identity, resilience, authenticity, vision, and execution, you'll see how a healthcare executive draws inspiration from an endurance racer's grit, or how an entrepreneur learns strategy from a CIO's tech journey. With over 225 episodes and 50,000 downloads, Grant brings 3 decades of business expertise and wisdom to every conversation. If you're ready to build your executive presence, navigate a career change, embrace new technologies, or simply tell your story more powerfully, Follow the Brand is your guide. Your brand and your purpose are already within you. Let's bring them to light.
Hey everyone, it's Grant McGaw, CEO of 5-Star BDM and host of the award-winning Follow the Brand podcast and TV series, where I help you to build a 5-star brand that people will follow. My genius is personal brand development through intelligent communication and helping you achieve your business and career goals. I am a requested speaker on digital technology and brand development issues. I want to work with you to increase the value of your current opportunities while attracting new ones. Every one of you is unique, and we all share challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. As a super connector, I work with you as an executive coach to guide you along the complicated business and career development road, providing the enhancement tools and information you need to succeed. Together, I will help you succeed in today's challenging business climate. I will evaluate and measure your progress. Best of all, I am right alongside you every step of the way. Build the brand called you. Genius is coming. tune in for our next show or click on our website at www.5starbdm/followthebrandtv. Thank you.